This is our wilderness survival, and almost all of the survival situations that people get into are either day hikers or hunters that get lost. And so a lot of times when I teach these classes, I teach with that basis. And right now we're out here in the woods, and we're going to simulate that we got lost and we don't know where the trail is. One of the first things that's going to happen, and nobody's immune, everybody does it, the minute you realize that you're not on the path and that you don't exactly know where you're at, there's a panic going to set in. Now the first number one rule is you gotta stop and sit down and get control of your emotions. And once you get control of your emotions, then there's a couple things we can do. A lot of times it doesn't take somebody very long before they realize, you know what, I'm not on the path. And at that point, what you want to do is stop right where you're at and mark the spot. You know, if you want to use your coat, or if you have a backpack or water bottle, any type of thing that you can do to mark that spot. Then what you're going to do is you're actually going to you're going to go away from that as long as you can. You never want to lose sight of that marker. And you want to go out as far as you can from that marker and then start doing circles around that marker. And a lot of times you'll end up coming across the path that you were on. And at that point, then you're out of your survival situation. You can go back and retrieve your marker and can either continue on or go back to where you were. So that's a little trick you can do. Now, if you've done your circle and you didn't come across the path, then what you're going to do is come back to your marker. You're going to find one of the biggest trees you can find. You're going to go up that tree, and then there are two areas that I like to talk about. One is a little more populated area, and then I like to talk about some areas where you could get into where there's just nobody forever. The first area where there's some population, when you're up the tree, you're going to do a couple things. You're going to look and you're going to listen. And what do we be looking for? Well, we may look out and we may see some smoke coming up. Well, that could be your own camp. You know, so that, and basically we're not going to leave this spot unless we have a good reason to do so. Now, some smoke from a campfire, you know, get a direction on that, that would be a good reason. You know, you may look out, you may see a highway. You know, you may see any types of roads would help you to get back to civilization. And, you know, you may see off in the distance, you may see an open field, and you look a little closer and all of a sudden you realize, you know what, that open field has a fence around it. Well, that would tell you this is farmer's field, and you might want to head on over there and see if you can find a farmer. So anything that you could see that would tell you civilization would be a good reason to head in that direction. Things you're going to do up there, you're going to listen. You know, you may hear some dogs barking, you may hear some kids playing, you may hear road noises. Any of these types of things that would tell you, oh, there's civilization. You know, that's some help over there. And you could go that direction. Now, I live in Michigan, and we have a lower peninsula and an upper peninsula, and there's areas in the upper peninsula that you can get into where there's just nobody forever. And if you get lost in one of those situations and you're up the tree, two good things that you can run into that would be very helpful. One would be a railroad track, and the second would be a power line. If you can find one of those two, those are very helpful because you're going to start following them. You may not know, you know, which direction to go, but just pick a direction and start following it. And you're going to come to civilization at some point somewhere if you start following those. Now, there's a second reason why they're good, in that if you get lost and you don't come back, let's say you were camping and you got lost on a trail, and you don't come back, then the people that are there are actually going to send the cavalry out to come and find you. There's going to be searchers out there. You know, there's going to be all kinds of different people. You know, some of them are going to be trained and some of them are not. There's going to be most of them probably are just, you know, want to go out and help find this person that got lost, and so they're out there. But there are also going to be people in the air. And those guys know what they're doing. And if you're in the middle of this woods, let's say there was a helicopter that was off over there. Now there's no way that he's going to be able to see you through all this stuff. But if you're out underneath a power line or on top of a railroad track, now those guys in the air can see you a whole lot better. And so those would be good things. Now, let's say you're up the tree and you didn't see any civilization and you couldn't find anything that would give you an indication that there could be some help. Then what you're going to have to do is actually set up camp right where you're at. So you're going to come down the tree, and then what you're going to do is you're going to build a survival shelter. And we're going to show you the best survival shelter that there is. It's called Debris Hut, and we'll end up showing you just how to make that. So as soon as it's done, click the link for Debris Hut. You'll see how to make it.